White people stopped the cap. It's fact, Olmecs were black.
Even the Smithsonian sent people to do expeditions. Matthew Sterling had gone in and found what he called Negroid heads. And all anybody has to do is to look at the Olmec heads and see that these are quote-unquote Negroid or Africoid in appearance. But let me also say something about how insidious Eurocentric hegemony or so-called white supremacy is. Mexicans, Mexican scholars, Mexican laypersons as well, the average person, knew that these giant Olmec heads were throughout different parts of Mexico, Tres Zapotes and La Venta and other areas. They looked at these heads and said they look like quote-unquote negros or Africanos to us. What European anthropologists did was claim that these heads were stylized baby jaguar faces, or they were infantile stylizations to try to negate the fact that here's evidence of this pre-Columbian presence of Africans in the Americas. And Cyrus Gordon, who was also another scholar of Mesoamerica, right? Pre-Columbian Americas. And Cyrus Gordon, who basically looked at different artifacts and said there's clear evidence that there was exchange between Africans and Native Americans and Asians and Native Americans long before Columbus ever arrived. Alexander von Futenau, who was an art historian. In fact, if you can get his book, it's a rare book. It's called Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, right? He just passed away, I say just, it might have been 8 or 9 years ago. But von Futenau, who was talking about all these African and Asian artifacts found throughout Central America and South America, indicating contact between the two continents, or I should say the 3 continents, if you want to say other parts even of Asia outside of Africa. So Africans, Asians, and people in the Americas communicating back and forth. But the mainstream archaeologists and anthropologists did everything they could to deny and hide it. In fact, von Futenau even says that the head of the Smithsonian, a man named Alex Hrdlicka, who was a European trained physical anthropologist who focused on the ancient Americas, and who he claims, meaning von Futenau, says that Hrdlicka, and Cyrus Gordon says the same thing. Hrdlicka made sure that any Africoid images of indigenous finds would not be put out on display. So it's like they would warehouse or put those things in the back. They wouldn't let those things be shown out front. And that's why von Futenau's work and his book was so powerful and so important. And of course, Ivan van Sertima then became friends with von Futenau and would go to Mexico, because that's where von Futenau lived, in Mexico City. And they would talk and do, discuss different aspects of the finds and its significance, etc. Ivan van Sertima's case was so strong that he was even invited for the 500th anniversary of Columbus's discovery of the Americas to go to Congress and actually give give testimony about how this idea of Columbus's discovery of America is a lie that we need to stop telling it. We need to stop teaching it. Just say what Columbus actually did. Columbus opened up America for permanent European settlements. He didn't discover America.